Hello po mga ka-viral and welcome back again to this YouTube channel. Latest update na naman tayo ngayon. Senator Bato de la Rosa nagulantang sa biglaang pagsilbi ng arrest warrant ng ICC or International Criminal Court laban sa kanya. Una nang sinabi ng ICC representative of the Philippines na any moment ay maaring ilabas na ng ICC ang iba pang mga arrest warrant sa iba pang mga sangkot sa kasong crime against humanity na siya ring dahilan ng pagka-aresto sa dating Pangulo na si Pangulong Duterte na ngayon ay nasa bansang The Hague, Netherlands na at naghihintay na lamang ng kanyang trial. Ayon kay Senator Bato de la Rosa ay wala siyang balak makipag-cooperate at mag-surrender sa ICC sa kadahilanan niya na wala di umanong jurisdiksyon ng ICC sa bansa at hindi din ito makakasama di umano ang dating Pangulong Duterte sa ICC detention facility dahil sa mahigpit na detention policy ng ICC sa kahit na kamag-anak ng nakadetain na hindi maaring makalapit at makabisita doon anumang oras. Ayon kay Senator Bato ay hinihintay na lamang niya ang desisyon ng Korte Suprema hinggil sa TRO o Temporary Restraining Order hinggil sa pagpigil sa Interpol na arestuhin ang mayroong arrest warrant. Subalit kung mauna di umano ang arrest warrant ng ICC sa kanya, kaysa sa TRO ng Supreme Court ay maaring ikukonsidera niya ang pagkanlong sa Senate premises upang hindi siya maaring maaresto tulad ng pangako sa kanya ni Senate President Chis Escudero. Ngunit ayon kay Senator De La Rosa ay pinag-iisipan din do umano niya na magtago muna upang hindi mahuli ng Interpol. Samantala sa kaugnay na balita ay nagsampa na ng reklamo ang NBI sa Supreme Court hinggil sa do umano'y nagpasimula ng pulveron video na iniuugnay ang Pangulong BBM. Natukoy na di umano na si Attorney Harry Roque na nasa Netherlands na nagtatago at si Maharlika nagpasimula di umano ng nasabing video.
Senator, just shifting to a different topic, over the weekend, inanunsyo po ni ICC Assistant Counsel Attorney Cristina Conti na posible daw pong may lumabas na arrest warrant mula sa ICC laban po sa inyo in the coming weeks. But Senator, ano po ba ang naririnig nyo?
Naghihintay lang naman ako kung talagang mayroon yan. Wala pa tayong magagawa dyan. Hintayin lang natin yung anong magiging decision ng Supreme Court doon sa aming pending petition sa Supreme Court. So, hintayin na lang natin.
Pero Senator, initially, di ba sabi niyo po, you will vow to go into hiding, but eventually sabi niyo po, willing po kayong pumunta po sa Hague at harapin ang ICC. So does that mean, kung dumating nga po itong arrest warrant, you will be fully cooperating? Tama po ba yan, Senator?
No. I am not, wala kong sinabi na mag-cooperate ako. Ang sabi ko lang is, noon na gusto kong pumunta doon kung may tsansa na makalapit ako kay Pangulong Duterte. Pero yun nga, nung nalaman ko na at yung family members niya, hirap na hirap makapunta sa kanya, makabisita. So, there's no point of going there kung hindi ko siya makita.
Ano yung plano nyo, Senator, kung sakali lang, na maunang lumabas yung warrant bago yung desisyon ng Korte Suprema?
Sinabi naman ng ating Senate President na I can avail of the protection of the Senate while hinihintay yung desisyon ng Korte Suprema. So I can stay within the Senate premises para hindi nila ako huliin habang hinihintay yung desisyon ng Korte Suprema.
Must still, at the very least, consent to jurisdiction over the individual, tama? Nag-consent ba tayo?
Ano ho yan eh? Gagawin nila yan whether we like it or not.
Okay. At binanggit ni Secretary Manalo, katulad ni Pangulo Bongbong, na yung Interpol ang dahilan. Tanggap naman natin ang Pangulo ay napakalawak ng kanyang diskarte, ang kanyang kapangyarihan para ayusin ang ating foreign policy. But I can't accept that the Philippines was merely complying with commitments to Interpol, which has been alluded to by Secretary Manalo again. Hindi ba dapat sabihin na talaga yung katotohanan ay kahit we were assured that the ICC has no jurisdiction in the Philippines, the Philippine government chose to surrender, chose to cooperate, chose to build the case against President Duterte for the ICC and evade the
Again, ma'am, I would go back to Republic Act 9851, which recognizes international tribunals.
Yes, pero nahihilo na po ang buong sambayanan. Sabi ng Pangulo, Interpol, sabi rin ni Secretary Manualo, sabi ni
And then the Interpol, ma'am, I was one of the first persons to say that the Interpol would play a part with whatever problems there would be with the ICC.
Ang naalala ko po si E.S. Bersamin din na nagsabi.
Before the ES said
Interpol.
that, I said it already before,
Ay,
ma'am.
ganun ba? Okay po. So may Interpol. Pagkatapos, maliwanag sa certification ni Prosecutor Fadulion, Rome Statute naman ang kanyang ini-invoke. Pagkatapos, doon sa sinaunang hearing, ang SOJ natin, paulit-ulit na sinasaad na hindi ICC, kundi RA 9851 ang mahiwagang Section 17, Paragraph 2, last phrase. Tapos sabi naman, na iba na naman, naging IHL. Kahit wala namang gera o
IHL and
kinalaman sa Red
9851 I use in the same light, ma'am. Kasi that's our version of international humanitarian law, which is Republic Act 9851.
Naku naman, paano naman naging customary pati jurisdiction at procedure? Hahayaan ko na lang. Pero sabi rin, walang jurisdiction ng ICC, pero may jurisdiction sa individual at sa krimen. Naku, parang panloloko na to, hinihilo na po kaninyo kami. Gulong-gulo na ako eh. Ilang
Ano ho
beses
to
ko
eh?
nang
Hindi
binabasa.
sana magulo to. Kung nag-withdraw tayo sa ICC, nirepeal din natin yung 9851. Hindi ho natin nirepeal eh. And it's supposed to be a companion bill. Kasi nauna pong i-pass ang Republic Act 1951 bago po tayo nag-accede sa ICC. Which means talaga yung naging basis po ng ating accession sa ICC ay 9851. Pero ang problema ho, nung nag-advise po kay President Duterte na umatras tayo sa ICC, hindi po binigay yung advice na i-repeal din ang 9851.
Baka may maidagdag si Attorney Medina, yung constitutionalist natin, si Justice Ascuna. Talaga bang IHL ito? Talagang international humanitarian law, pati jurisdiction, procedure, administrative law, sakop na lahat ng IHL. Parang ang hirap naman tanggapin.
Madam Chair, while the
This was in the previous hearing, to be fair po, not today.
yes, the question is whether or not the Philippine IHL law is relevant, since IHL is the law on armed conflict and there's no war. Okay, that is true. But then among the crimes covered by IHL is crimes against humanity. And crimes against humanity may be committed during peacetime as well as wartime. Consequently, the Philippine IHL, although generally addressing offenses committed during war, can also address offenses committed during peacetime because, as I said, certain offenses, such as crimes against humanity, are by definition crimes that can be committed during wartime as well as peacetime.
Yes, that is to do with the nature of the crime po, Justice. Perhaps, Attorney Medina, you can bolt in. You were present in the first hearing. Pati ba naman jurisdiction, procedure, lahat yan sakop ng IHL?
The jurisdiction of the ICC remains under the concept of a complementary jurisdiction, meaning that it kicks in only if the national judicial system is genuinely unable to genuinely prosecute or investigate the suspect. So,
Is that the case po in the Philippines? Are we genuinely unable to prosecute?
in the case of former President Rodrigo Duterte, the ICC apparently has reached the conclusion that the Philippines is unable to genuinely prosecute him because no case was filed against him after so many years, even after he stepped down from the presidency. That is the finding of the ICC, so they issued a warrant of arrest on the footing that they have their complementary jurisdiction has set in, because the Philippines, as far as the former president is concerned, is unable to genuinely prosecute him.
However, if the cases, for example, that would emanate from the Quadcom, the DOJ task force, the Senate Blue Ribbon hearing, the ICC investigations that utilized all the government agencies, if these resulted in a case and they were filed in the Philippines, certainly the Philippine courts are competent, able, willing to rule on this? Don't you think so, Honorable Ascuna po and Attorney Medina?
Part of the reason, perhaps, of the inability to genuinely prosecute is the availability of witnesses. In cases of very high-level persons like former heads of state, the experience of the ICC is that the witnesses are generally afraid to testify in their home countries, so that even if the Department of Justice, for instance, is investigating, genuinely investigating the cases, the witnesses may not be forthcoming. In fact, the prosecutor of the ICC resorted to what they call internet invitation of witnesses, and in this way the witnesses came out through the internet, and I think the witnesses now are willing to testify in The Hague. Witnesses who would not be willing to testify here in the Philippines. So it's not the prosecution, it's the witnesses that makes it unable genuinely to prosecute the former president.
Yes, thank you very much. Justice Attorney Medina, would you like to add something to our understanding of IHL and procedure,
Thank-
jurisdiction,
Yeah.
and such other matters?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think I get the point of our good secretary that the crime of crime against humanity is not just an international law crime. It's actually a crime in the Philippines, punishable in the Philippines. And 9851 actually provides
Yes,
that
given
the
naman
person,
po yun,
Opo,
pero
oo.
pati jurisdiction, pati
Opo.
procedure, lahat na lang naging customary law?
No, that's the problem po. That if we have to comply with international law, we have to also comply with the Philippine laws. Okay, and primarily that would be the Constitution. So international obligations, yes, there's the principle of Pacta Sunt Servanda that we have to comply with international obligations, but that does not necessarily mean that we have to disregard constitutional protections under the Bill of Rights. Now, of course, there are a lot of debates going on whether or not the ICC should have jurisdiction or should we recognize the ICC, and that's precisely the point. It's not for the police, it's not for the executive branch to decide that. Ultimately, it should have been decided by a court of law because it involves the deprivation of liberty. Thank you po.
Thank you very much, Attorney Medina. You had the privilege of hearing the debate last hearing. In any case, I'd like to go to another topic, and this is finally the private jet. The U.S. government will obviously have the last say on its executive order, although Section 1 is clear that properties of those who aided, sponsored, investigated, or provided material support to the ICC shall have their assets frozen. Maraming picture po nung tail code ng aircraft. Nandito ba yung CAAP, Secretary? Comsec? Wala tayong CAAP? Sorry. Wala tayong CAAP. Wala rin tayong DOTC.
Wala po, ma'am.
Walang makapagsabi kung ano nga sasakyan na to. Yung tail code C5219, is anyone aware of what company it's registered under? Kasi nung nakaraan, nandito yung SEC. Nandito po ba yung SEC? Ayan, Attorney Bernal,
Yes,
dati
yes,
sinabi
ma'am.
ninyo na ano yun, alin na sino nga ba yung may-ari nito?
Uh,
Yung kumpanya, yung Pearl, Aero Pearl, naku, nakalimutan ko na.
you just requested the company documents, ma'am. And we have the
Yung Asian Aero Pearl,
Challenger Aero.
yung Challenger
Aero.
Aero, ang sabi na nabago kasi yung website ng Challenger Aero, kaya nalilito kami. Biglang nabago pagkatapos ng hearing. Hinahanap ko eh. Wala na doon. Eh sabi, the company arranged for the flight. We were able to get a screenshot of the article. So, palabas lang yung screenshot ng Challenger. Ayun no. Ayan, Challenger Aero Air. Inimbitahan rin namin ang piloto. Wala naman po rito. Ayan, Challenger Aero Air. Baka yung SEC may alam kayo. Kasi nung second hearing narito kayo, pero ang problema, sabi niyo hindi pa na-request yung pangalan.
We have already forwarded to the secretariat, ma'am.
So sino ang may-ari po? At sila ba may-ari ng eroplano or they just arranged the flight? Nalilito po kami.
I just have the documents concerning the incorporators of the. Per articles of incorporation, ma'am,
Siya ba may-ari?
we don't have the facts about the airplane or the assets of the corporation, ma'am.
Ano yung Asian Pearl Aero? Yung unang hiningi. Yun daw yung registered owner?
We only have Challenger Aero Air Corporation, ma'am, and Challenger Aero Aviation Pampanga Inc. We will verify with our if
Yes, I think the first set, the Asian Pearl, was the first company that we asked you to check. Nauna pa yun eh.
I will verify with my staff, Your
Okay,
Honor.
kasi ang mahirap dito, wala yung CAAP, wala yung DOTC. Ngayon, sinabi ni Secretary John Vic na the Office of the President ang nagbayad para sa jet. Tama ba to o hindi? Meron bang pwedeng sumagot nito? Dahil wala po si Secretary John Vic. At marami sa ating mga kababayan nagtatanong kung group effort ito, chismis rin ba to? Baka sina General Torre, sina Prosecutor Fadulion, nandun kayo sa Villamor. Alam ba ninyo kung paano itong eroplanong ito kinuha? O
Ma'am,
na-charter ba to? Ano ba nangyari rito?
Ma'am, ang ano kasi, darating na naman tayo rito. Itong eroplanong to, nagagamit po ng presidente to.
Oo,
Paminsan-minsan.
ginamit ulit pagkatapos nung pag-aresto ni
Ngayon,
Presidente Duterte.
hindi ho namin
ginamit po
pwedeng
sa amin
pag-usapan.
sa Ilocos.
Hindi ho namin pwedeng pag-usapan yung travel arrangements ng presidente. These are national security matters. I think that we should respect. I don't think that we should really talk about this because this
Nakikita po ng tao,
ang
mahirap maging
ang travel
executive-
arrangement po ng presidente in the past, the
Mahirap
present,
maging
and the future.
executive privilege. Ay, nakabulat-lat sa lahat ng dyaryo.
Hindi, pero yun nga, sinasabi ko ho, you cannot expect answers from us pagdating po rito. You cannot expect answers from us. Because,
No, but,
ano ho ito eh, pakikinabangan ito na susunod ng Pangulo. Ginagamit ngayon ng Pangulo. Sabihin natin, hindi ho dapat pinag-uusapan. Kasi nga,
Pero
we hold
pinag-usa-
the life of the President as sacred.
Po
Hindi ho
naman, pero
natin,
Secretary John Vic already said it was chartered and paid for by the Office of the President.
I don't know if he has personal knowledge of that.
How much
but-
was paid kaya?
Well, that's speculative, ma'am.
Meron bang official receipt? Meron bang bidding?
Ay,
What
yun
was
nga,
the mode
we
of
cannot
procurement?
we cannot go into the details of travel arrangements because these have national
The
security
request
implications.
was made in March
I think we should
11.
respect national security, ma'am. I think it's
Yes,
it's imperative.
if you'll allow me to just ask, because this has already been divulged to the public, it's hardly secret. If it was national security at stake, it should never have been spoken about, but it's all over the media, and it came from government. that they only knew about the request, as you said, on March 11. Sa umaga ng March 11, nalaman ninyo yung Interpol. Pagkatapos ito na charter sa ilang oras lamang. Ando na ba yung eroplano nung nandun kayo sa Villamor, General Torre? Kasi abala kayo na isakay si Presidente Duterte. Nag-aabang na ba yung eroplano? Anong oras siya nandun? Kasi nagmamadali kayo para isakay na, di ba?
I really don't know about the plane, ma'am. I only saw it around after mga
Yes, General Torre. Bakit siya kinaladkad? Hindi namin maintindihan.
as Attorney Delgra has himself admitted, sinasabi niya may medical emergency, may mga opinion ng doctors niya, which is contrary to the opinion of our doctors. And I think we can put that to rest already na wala medical emergency because the President himself, before he landed on the plane, made a video, sent to her daughter, posted on the internet, saying that he's okay. So, I think talagang ngayon,
Hindi ang
nasubstantiate
pasyente
natin,
nagsasabi no ng doktor ko. Na personal choice, by the way.
nasubstantiate
Hindi
natin,
yung,
ma'am,
army doctor.
na wala nga talagang medical emergency. And
Balik
you have the
tayo kay
hindsight
Attorney Delgra.
of a 2020 vision, 2020.
Okay lang yung collateral damage, yung mga katabi ni Presidente Duterte. Okay lang na saktan, arestuhin, na walang kasalanan yung mga katabi at nandyan para lang sumuko si PRRD.
Ma'am, I do believe that everything that I did during the time are all within the ambit of the law. Kung ngayon, kung may mga taong gusto magreklamo at ireklamo ako, I can answer them on the proper forum if they file the appropriate charges in court. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, Attorney Delgra, did you think you were going to be the next to be arrested? Ang sinabi
Yes,
ninyo
Madam
kasi
Chair.
ang sinabi ni General Torre nung nakaraang hearing, nung first hearing, you are going to arrest Attorney Delgra. Tama po?
After I arrested A.S. Mijaldea, ma'am, when I came back to the room, I told him, you're the next. So he stepped out and then left PRRD and PRRD said, let's go.
Tinakot mo na, bakit hindi mo inaresto si Attorney Delgra?
He already stopped preventing me from doing my job. So umalis na siya.
How was
There's no
he
need for me.
preventing you? Hindi namin makita sa video, Attorney Delgra. You stopped preventing him. What exactly were you doing that prevented him?
Perhaps if I may recall, just a few minutes before that, Madam Chair, sinabi ni General Torre na inaresto niya na si E.S. Mijaldea at ako na yung susunod. Sa totoo lang, pagkatapos niya, and then eventually, 5 minutes thereafter, sumunod na si former President. And which is not true. Kasi pagkatapos ng umalis na si E.S. Mijaldea, nagbanta pa si General Torre na hihilain ko yan. I was still there beside the President. And actually, I did not left the side of the President. I was pulled out by one of the PNP personnel away from the President. And that's shortly thereafter, few seconds thereafter, they were able to secure the body of the former President. Ando na, maraming mga PNP na who surrounded the former President. And that was when I realized that they were able to secure the former President. And I realized then that he would now be brought to The Hague, as what General Torre has been telling us throughout the day that he will do it.
So, obstruction of justice ang sinasabi ninyo tungkol kay Attorney Delgra at kay E.S. Mijaldea, pero hindi na inaresto si Attorney Delgra. Tama po ba? Kasi sumakay na si PRRD sa eroplano.
Yes, ma'am.
Kung tutuusin, hindi na kailangan magbuhat ng kamay, magkaladkad, hilain. Kasi sumama naman pala eh.
After I made it very, very clear that the escalation of yung aking pag-i-insist na sumunod sila sa aking sinasabi na sumakay si Presidente sa eroplano, ay talagang nakita nilang desidido at determinado tayo doon. So, in
Disidido
fairness
kayo
naman,
hanggang sa nananakot kayo, nagbabanta kayo, nanghihila na kayo, physical na yung hawak ninyo.
for whatever it's worth, ma'am, wala namang umabot. Hindi, and I would like to give credit to Attorney Delgra and to the former President na hindi na umabot sa ganong level sapagkat sila naman ay sumunod na, si former President ay sumunod na at sumakay sa eroplano after all those things happened.
Pero napakaliwanag sa ating revised penal code, sa obstruction of justice, napakaliwanag rin sa manual ng PNP na dapat walang force, violence, threat, intimidation, or other means to vitiate the free will of the arrested person. So, bawal pa rin yun, di ba, sa manual ninyo? Bawal talaga yung paggagamit ng dahas, pananakot, pambabanta. Bawal yun eh.
Ma'am, the word there is reasonable force. Ang bottom line ng context ng lahat ng yan ay reasonable force. Kaya nga,
Was it reasonable given that Attorney Delgra was just sitting there and saying that Article 59 should apply? Bawal ba magsalita?
tapos na yung panahon na yun, ma'am, ng pagkipag-argumento. Sinabi ko rin sa kanila dyan, ma'am, kung hindi nila sinabi dyan sa...
Sino nagbigay ng taning? Ba't nagmamadali?
Sa mga video na
Palagay ko
gabing-gabi na
ang
yan,
mga
ma'am, no?
karapatan eh, walang taning.
Ang sabi ko nga dyan, ma'am, is, again, I will reiterate it to this forum, hindi ito ang lugar para tayo makipag-argumento sa batas. Ito ay panahon na ini-implement namin ang warrant at dapat sumakay na si PRRD sa eroplano. Kung may reklamo kayo, asuntuhin nyo na lang kami. And again, I would like to reiterate that standpoint na I do believe personally that everything that I did was within the ambit of the law, and kung may magreklamo man, kung may mga tao mga nasaktan, they are always welcome to file the appropriate charges in the proper forum, and so that we can discuss
Sa anumang
about it.
pamamaraan,
We can-
basta maaresto mo. Parang ganun ang sinasabi
As long as
ko,
there
no?
is reasonable force, we use reasonable force. And yun nga sinasabi namin kung andito si Senator Bato, alam yan, lecture yan ang force continuum. Yun ang basically force continuum is the one that mandates yung
Yung force continuum mo palapad ng palawak. Sabi ko, di ba sabi mo, ang mission mo, arestuhin lang ang dating Pangulo. Bakit pati si E.S. Medialdea, si Attorney Delgra, hindi naman bahagi ng mission mo yon? Di ba escalation na to ng mission? Lumawak na lang ng lumawak. Pati yung iba, dinamay-damay na wala namang kinalaman doon. Inaresto na, kinaladkad na, tinakot na. Tama ba yun?
nakita nyo naman, ma'am, si Attorney Delgra pa lang hinawakan ko, bigla lang pumasok na si Kitty. Lalo na siguro pag andyan sila at pinatayo na ang presidente at dahil
Ako
na sa
naman,
plane.
General, sasabihin nyo